Hi, everybody. I am so excited to present to you this segment today because it's an Art2Heart interview with an artist who I admire for so many years. I love his work. He's a creative sculptor and he specializes in creating these marvelous, breathtaking, expressionist bronze sculptures that are full of movement. And he's Jean Jacques Porret. How are you doing, Jean Jacques?
Good, thank you.
It's great to have you.
Well, thank you. It's great to see you again after so many years.
Yes, and I had the chance to interview you before, so our public knows you already because we have showcased that interview in our show a few times. They love it, and I kind of want to start with your journey, if you don't mind, because you have quite an exciting journey. You were born in Switzerland, came to the U.S. You've lived in Chicago for over 50 years. So can you tell us about your journey?
Well, sure. Yes, I was born in 1941, so it's about 79 years ago. And in my early age, I was working on wood and doing some furniture with wood, carving and wood um, sewing. Uh, I stopped that when I was about 12 or 14 years old. And um, I started all over again when I was about 28, when I was in the US. And never stopped since. My parents were collectors of uh, basically antique furnitures and painting and mostly Swiss artists. And that's basically what created my knowledge. Uh, when when I came to the US, I started to go to visit other sculptors anywhere in the world and learn from them and learn of their feeling and their and how they were doing things, etc. And then one day I had to decide to be myself um, and do what I wanted to do based on my feeling. That's where I am now, and I have created well over 400. I think I am at about 480 right now sculptures in the last 40 years, and allowed me to get everywhere and create my own style and my own path and all out of my own imagination.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Your work is very, I know that you do not necessarily plan each piece that you create, right?
No, I need to sketch them and to draw. I sketch them until I find the right balance in the sketch, in the shape, in the form, in the size, etc. And then I go to the clay and I create in clay and etc. etc. The A while, oh, that was about 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, I had even my own foundry um, and being casting my own work. But that's too much of a dirty job, I can call it. And then I started I decided that it was not what I wanted to do. But what I wanted to do is to create sculptures and not making them. By making, I mean casting them.
What inspires you?
Pardon me?
What inspires your work? Is it nature, the human being, the human form?
Well, usually I try to do human figures and mostly maybe ladies. I like ladies, that's why. And because women have nice shape and nice forms, so I try to redo that. I did do a few things which was more animal-like, but it did not come out right. So I stay with what I like and what's come out as something which I think is right. And about 30 years ago, when I stopped casting with a foundry, I got myself into a company who does marble, and I bought the company, and now I have good control over what I can do with the sculptures. Also, it gave me an opening to carve sculptures in stone, but that is also something that I went away from because bronze is so beautiful and so warm to the touch, while stone is cold. And in essence, I don't care for the stone. So I stayed with the bronze.
And we love it.
Thank you.
We love your work. I know you also do a lot of outdoor sculptures, right? And can you tell us about that that side of your work?
Well, an outside piece usually starts from a small piece that I do for home, and then I developed a technique to enlarge them and to make them bigger to whatever size I now 6, 8, 10 feet, and I train my my employee to work with me on that, and they are doing a very good job.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you have been working for so many years. I'm really honored to speak to you. I have to tell you, a master artist with so many successful years of career. You had such an incredible journey, and also an entrepreneur, right? Because you have your own business as well. What is a message that you could send to the younger generation out there that is trying to break into the art world? Because it's very challenging being an artist. It comes with its challenges, and you have mastered those challenges, really.
Well, Viviana, I think that an artist needs to use his imagination. Everything starts there. Creating is it's related to imagination. And today, unfortunately, the young people are more tuned to play with all these electronic gadgets which are flooding the market, and they lose the imagination. They don't look anymore at what is around themselves. They don't look anymore at the beauty of what is around them. You know, the leaves starting out of a tree, the flowers growing up there, etc., etc. And if somebody uses his imagination, I think that he can become a good artist. There is another thing, of course. An artist has to remain in line with the style that he has developed, he or she. You cannot make an artist who is doing, let's say, something abstract and the next day something realistic. He's not following his style. He does not have a style yet. You look at the painting from Picasso, and you will always know that it is a Picasso. Without being told. Same thing with a Rembrandt. Same thing with a Van Gogh. Okay, or a Degas. These are artists who use mostly their imagination, but with something different. Rembrandt was a very creative artist as far as technique is concerned, but he was painting things that he was looking at, just like a photograph. Van Gogh was painting. He was not a good painter. He was not a good painter, but he was an extraordinary creator. He was creating things out of his imagination. When you look at some of his crazy looking trees or etc. from Van Gogh, you know that it was a Van Gogh. And it's always going to be a Van Gogh. The artist, a young artist, need to stay and run his course and do what he feel is his line of thought, and remain that way. If you look at my sculptures from even the last 20 or 30 years, you can always tell that, oh, this look like a Porret. And that what artists today, generally speaking, do not follow, unfortunately.
That is true, and I have to agree with you. And I think it's also patience, right? Because it takes you a while to develop that style. How was your journey with that? How long did it take? Because you also have an engineering influence that probably affected your work. So how long did it take for you to discover that unique style that you have now?
Well, let's take an example. Some pieces can take much longer than others. It also depends, and it's also related to how fast and how well the foundry can work. And to show you an example, I will send you a picture later of a piece that I started, or that I designed and sculpted in clay in January, and I finished it this weekend.
Oh wow!
So that's 6 months of work, 7 months of work. Sometimes this is probably among the shortest period. Some pieces will take as much as 12 or more months to complete.
Is there a specific discipline that you have? Are you working every day, certain hours that you have, or you're very flexible on that? That's another challenge for artists.
No, yes, I do work every day, and but there's a lot of things that I destroy and that I do not keep. I will sculpt something and I will destroy it because it's not what I wanted to. And then I have to go back to the drawing, I have to go back to the sketches, etc., and modify it, and why is it wrong, why it's etc., etc. But I'm not sure how to respond. I take things. It has to be correct. It has to be right. And I even destroy some sculptures which are already in bronze or in wax. And when it's in wax, I'm okay. After the wax, I know that I keep going. But I have some pieces that I did not go through to make it in bronze because that's when the big expense goes. The bronze is the mold and the wax is a part of the expense, but the bronze itself is probably about 3 times to 4 times the cost of the mold and the wax. So there is a time I have to stop.
Wow, wow, that sounds like I want to go to your studio and save those that you're destroying. Yeah.
But there's one or two, yes, which are in bronze. They are early pieces, and but no, there's nothing good.
Okay. Is there any
Okay.
series that you're working on right now? Any specific series?
Yes, of course. I continuously have in an average of 8 to 12 pieces in various stage of production, whether it is in clay or wax or even bronze. I have pieces that I have made, mostly the large pieces, which I just don't cast them because the cost. Okay, I cannot make a 8-foot piece, which will cost me something like $50,000 or $60,000, and then sitting in my backyard. Okay, I already have a few, but I don't want to. They stay in plaster, and maybe one day I will have somebody interested to buy them. So that's the way it works.
Sounds good though. It looks like it seems to me that you're also very disciplined with the business part of your career, which is incredible, and another challenge for a lot of artists.
Well,
Thank you so much.
You know, I don't watch much television to start with, and I have 2 dogs to feed in the shop, so I'm in my studio 7 days a week, and I usually work 8-10 hours a day. So here you are.
How incredible! I think a lot of artists who are watching are learning as much as I'm learning right now with you, because that's a lot of commitment for so many years. I really congratulate you for that. Really.
Thank you. You know, in your question before about the which was related to artists, etc. People get influenced. You are always influenced by something every day, whether it is things which you see around, and all of a sudden it hits your eye, and you say, "Oh, here is something that I like." A painter can do the same thing. Uh, he sees something, and it can be the color, it can be the shape. For me, it's more the shape, the position, the way somebody stand and sit. This influence is one thing. The other influence that somebody can have is from another artist, and that is dangerous. You never want to copy somebody else, because then somebody will say, oh, you painting, your sculptures look like so and so. That's the beginning of the end. You should never arrive to that corner. You should always be influenced to a point where, yes, but not being influenced in what you are doing. You have to create your own path, your own out of your own imagination. That's something which is very important, I think, in art.
And I think it is true. It's true, and I agree with you. It's great to be inspired, but not influencing your style. And you see a lot of that when you go to art fairs, that there's so many works similar to the others and there's no difference. You're totally right on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something new.
Yeah. It's difficult not to be no, I say it's not difficult. It's easy to copy somebody. It's difficult to be your own. And that's the key of a good artist, in my book, in my opinion.
Yes. But I think in your case, Jean Jacques, you're so in touch and you're so connected to what you do, because if you're spending 8 hours a day, 6, 7 hours a day, you're totally connected to your work. So your inspiration is fluid, is there. There's no influence that can hit you, right? It's
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, thank you so much for this time. I'm so excited that I got to interview you. And for those who want to visit your website, where should they go?
My website is www.jjporret.com, and that's the best place to see some of the work that I have been doing.
Exciting. Well, thank you.
Or in my studio, or in my apartment. I have more than 400 sculptures in my own apartment.
I have to visit you at some point and see those sculptures in your studio. I'd love to go there with the cameras when, when this pandemic is over and we don't have to do interviews from home.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for watching. And stay inspired.
I'm going to send you a picture of the piece that I finished this weekend. Okay. It's called Belle du Soir.
Okay.
Belle du Soir. Okay.
Belle du Soir. Okay.
That's beauty of the evening.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Viviana.
Thank you guys for making this possible.